Imagine watching a time lapse of life on Earth. Single cells slowly forming colonies, a simple sponges giving way to fish, fins lengthening into legs, and mammals evolving wings. You might ask yourself, is evolution marching toward a grand finish line? Does life have a final goal? Or are we just travelers on a winding path with no map? What does goal even mean in evolution? Often we slip into language that sounds purposeful, like saying, wings evolved in order to fly. But evolution doesn't plan ahead. It's driven by random genetic variations, mistakes in DNA copying, and the filter of the environment. If a mutation helps an organism survive or reproduce, it becomes more common. If not, it disappears. If there's no ultimate aim, why all the complexity? You might wonder, how did simple blobs of cells give rise to eyes, brains, and languages? Complexity can emerge as a side effect. Imagine rolling a snowball down a hill. Even if you never aim to make an enormous ball, it grows bigger simply because of the downhill push. Likewise, as life spreads into new niches, land, air, deep sea, different pressures push organisms toward new solutions, often more intricate ones. Could any hidden final causes exist? Some early ideas, think Lamarck's notion of striving toward perfection, hinted at built-in direction. But modern biology finds no evidence of an internal push toward complexity or intelligence. All apparent trends arise from shifting environments, competition, and chance. There's no cosmic blueprint telling bacteria to become butterflies or whales to become philosophers. So, what do we call success if not a perfect endpoint? In evolution, success isn't about winning a race to a finish line, it's about leaving offspring. Even a tiny bacterium replicating every 20 minutes can out-evolve a far more complex animal if conditions favor its style of life. Success is local and immediate. Survive long enough to reproduce. Why does this matter for how we see ourselves? Realizing evolution has no set destination frees us from thinking we're the pinnacle of creation. Our intelligence, art, and technology are remarkable, but they arose because they worked for our ancestors in particular environments. You might worry, does this make our existence meaningless? On the contrary, if there's no predetermined path, then our choices, cultures, and innovations really do shape where life goes next. Every decision we make echoes into the future branches of the tree of life, making the journey as rich and unpredictable as its past. Biological evolution is a non-conscious process governed by mutation, selection, and genetic drift. It does not have foresight, direction, or an end point in mind. Changes occur randomly at the genetic level, and those that enhance reproductive success are preserved. This process creates complexity and diversity, but not by aiming toward a predefined goal. The evolution of wings in insects and birds occurred independently and unintentionally, purely through accumulated advantages. Evolution is like wind shaping sand dunes. It sculpts structures, but without a blueprint. Evolution favors traits that solve immediate problems in specific environments. These adaptations are often highly specialized and may not be beneficial if the environment changes. As a result, evolution produces organisms finely tuned to local niches, not universally superior beings. The success of a species is context-dependent rather than absolute. A desert lizard's skin color camouflages it in sand, but that same trait would be maladaptive in a jungle. It's like tuning a radio to a single station. It works well locally but loses signal in other regions. Biological systems tend to increase in complexity over time due to cumulative adaptations and new organizational levels. However, complexity is not universally favored. Many lineages evolve towards simplicity for efficiency. Evolution produces both intricate and minimal forms depending on selective pressures. Therefore, complexity is a possible outcome, but not an inevitable goal. Some parasites evolve by shedding organs and simplifying to optimize energy use in host environments. It's like upgrading software to include more features or stripping it down to run faster on minimal hardware. At its core, evolution operates to increase the reproductive success of genes through generations. Traits that boost survival until reproduction are selected regardless of their long-term effects. This selfish gene perspective frames evolution as a gene-centered process. The goal is gene persistence, not the well-being of the organism or species. Salmon die after spawning because their genes have already been passed on. Their survival afterward is irrelevant to evolution. It's like a relay race. Once the baton is passed, the runner organism can drop out. Different species may evolve similar solutions to the same problem, even if their ancestors were unrelated. This phenomenon, known as convergent evolution, reveals that certain biological features are optimal under recurring conditions. Such repeated outcomes imply that evolution is constrained by physics and chemistry, leading to similar endpoints. However, these convergences arise through independent paths rather than shared goals. Eyes evolved independently in mollusks, insects, and vertebrates due to the universal advantage of vision. It's like different cultures inventing the wheel independently. It's not planned, but it solves a common problem. Over time, evolution may select for traits that increase an organism's ability to adapt. This includes genetic modularity, developmental plasticity, and mechanisms like horizontal gene transfer. Organisms that can explore more genetic configurations may survive better across changing environments. In this view, evolvability itself becomes a selected trait. Bacteria can incorporate DNA from other species, rapidly acquiring new functions and resisting antibiotics. It's like building a robot with swappable parts so it can easily be upgraded or repaired for new tasks. Some species, notably humans, have developed the ability to understand and even direct their own evolution. Cognitive complexity allows for culture, planning, medicine, and genetic engineering. This introduces feedback loops where intelligence shapes evolution deliberately. The emergence of self-aware organisms may represent a shift from passive to guided evolution. Human use of CRISPR to modify genes is an example of evolution being consciously altered by its own product. It's like a tree learning how to prune itself to grow more efficiently. Human influence through agriculture, medicine, and technology now rivals or exceeds natural selection in many ecosystems. Artificial selection allows traits to be preserved or eliminated based on deliberate choices rather than survival pressure. This represents a transition from evolution by nature to evolution by design. In some cases, this can override natural evolutionary trends entirely. Domesticated dogs exhibit traits humans selected, not those that would increase survival in the wild. It's like replacing evolution's trial and error process with a user-controlled editing tool. Some thinkers propose that evolution could lead to post-biological intelligence, universal consciousness, or even the simulation of entire realities. These ideas venture beyond biology into philosophy and speculative science. If evolution creates beings that can transcend physical limitations, then its goal might be defined retrospectively. Whether or not a final purpose exists, evolution's potential trajectories extend far beyond current life forms. The idea of humans uploading consciousness into digital systems reflects a hypothetical endpoint of evolution beyond biology. It's like fire discovering how to contain itself in an electric circuit, transcending its original form while still expressing its energy.